Welcome, dear friends, to tonight's bedtime story. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the stars above guide you into dreams. Each story is filled with magic, kindness, and wonder. Now, snuggle in and let's begin. Tonight's story, The Ant and the Grasshopper, is set in a sunny meadow where Annie the ant works hard while Gary the Grasshopper sings and plays. When winter arrives, their friendship is put to the test. Let's see how kindness and preparation can bring warmth to the coldest of days. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow filled with flowers and tall grass, there lived a tiny ant named Annie and a cheerful grasshopper named Gary. It was a beautiful summer day. The sun was shining brightly, the flowers were blooming in every color, and the warm breeze made everything feel happy and bright. Gary the Grasshopper stretched his long legs and smiled. "What a perfect day," he said. Gary hopped over to a daisy and began to play his tiny violin. He loved making music. The sweet sounds floated through the meadow. "Tra-la-la, what a wonderful life," Gary sang as he played. Nearby, Annie the ant was busy at work. She was carrying a grain of wheat on her back. It was almost as big as she was, but Annie was very strong. Step by step, she walked toward her anthill home. Gary stopped playing his violin and hopped over to Annie. "Hello, Annie," he called out cheerfully. "Why are you working on such a beautiful day? Come play with me instead." Annie carefully set down her grain of wheat and wiped her forehead. "I can't play right now, Gary," she said kindly. "I need to gather food for the winter. Winter will be here before we know it." Gary laughed and did a happy little jump. "Winter? But that's so far away. Look around. The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, and there's food everywhere. Come dance with me," Gary said, doing a funny twirl. Annie smiled at her friend, but shook her head. "I wish I could, Gary, but I have important work to do. When winter comes, it will be cold and snowy. There won't be any food to find. I need to prepare now while I can," Annie explained. Gary shrugged and picked up his violin again. "You worry too much, Annie. I'm going to enjoy this beautiful day." And with that, Gary hopped away, playing his music and singing songs in the sunshine. All through the long, warm summer days, Annie worked hard. She found seeds, crumbs, and grains. One by one, she carried them back to her home. It was hard work, but Annie kept going. "Just a few more," she would tell herself. Meanwhile, Gary spent every day playing his violin, dancing in the flowers, and napping in the warm sunshine. "What a wonderful life," he would say, watching butterflies flutter by. He didn't think about winter at all. The days grew shorter. The leaves on the trees began to change from green to red, orange, and yellow. The air became cooler. Fall had arrived in the meadow. Annie was still working hard, gathering the last bits of food she could find. Her home was now filled with enough food to last all winter long. "Almost ready," Annie said with satisfaction, looking at her winter supplies. Gary noticed that the flowers were dying and the grass was turning brown. It was getting chilly, especially at night. I suppose I should start thinking about winter, Gary thought. But there's still a little time left. Then one morning, Gary woke up and everything had changed. The ground was covered with white snow. Icicles hung from the leaves. The whole meadow was frozen and cold. Winter had arrived suddenly, just like Annie had said it would. Gary hopped around looking for food, but there was nothing to eat. The flowers were gone. The grass was buried under snow. His tummy began to rumble. "Oh no," said Gary, shivering in the cold wind. "What will I do?" Gary remembered his friend Annie. He hopped through the snow to her anthill home and knocked gently on her door. "Annie, are you there?" Gary called out in a small, sad voice. Annie opened her door and saw her friend standing in the snow. Gary looked cold and hungry. "Oh, Gary, come inside where it's warm," said Annie kindly, opening her door wide. Inside Annie's home, it was cozy and warm. There were piles of seeds, grains, and dried berries, enough food to share. Gary felt ashamed. "You were right, Annie. I should have prepared for winter like you did. I'm sorry I didn't listen." Annie smiled at her friend. "I'm glad you're here, Gary. I have enough to share with you. But let's make a promise together." "What promise?" asked Gary. "Next summer," said Annie, "we'll both work hard to prepare. Then we'll have time to play together too." Gary nodded eagerly. "I promise, Annie. Next summer, I'll work first and play later. You're a good friend for helping me." Annie shared her food with Gary, and they both stayed warm and safe all winter long. When spring came and the snow melted away, Gary remembered his promise. Every morning, he gathered food and stored it away for the next winter. And every afternoon, after his work was done, Gary and Annie played together in the sunshine. Gary learned an important lesson that he never forgot. It feels good to play and have fun, but it's also important to work hard and prepare for the future. And Annie learned something too. Hard work is important, but so is making time for friends. And so, Gary learned that preparing today brings joy for tomorrow, and Annie discovered that friendship makes every season warmer. With that, our story comes to an end. May your dreams be filled with kindness and wonder. Good night, little dreamers. Until next time, sweet dreams under the stars.